Have I had time to work on this thing? Yes, I have. Have I had the motivation to work on it? No, I haven't. I'm old and lazy. And these days I'm getting kind of chubby. So, I don't know. I just don't like working on cars as much as I used to. I just like driving them. But you can't drive them unless you keep them on the road, so we're going to try to get the RX-7 back on the road, either today or tomorrow. I'm going to start on it this morning. I think I have everything I need. Let's see here. Got my clutch and pressure plate. Got this flywheel from Atkins Rotary. I wasn't really sure which one I needed to run. So I called them, told them I was using the REW motor with the Turbo 2 trans, and they said I needed that one. I think it's an S5 Turbo 2 flywheel. I think that's what it is. So I got the one they suggested. So if it's the wrong one, it's their bad. Anyways, I've got my Turbo 2 trans right here. What else? I think I got some new mounts for it right here, and I got my tools. I got my tools in my trusty garage. So I'm gonna get this this NA trans down, and I don't know, kind of see what's what, and see if I can get it all back together today. It shouldn't take too terribly long. It's not a hard job. It's a bunch of nuts and bolts, but you know, as you know, if you've worked on cars, like, there's all kinds of crap you can run into. So we'll see how it goes. My buddy Ryan came by to help me get the transmission out. It was so high up in the air that I couldn't really get both of my hands up to it. I could get my hands on the tailpiece, but I couldn't get all the way up to the whatchamacallit, the bell housing. So he came over, helped me lower it down, and now it's out. All right, it's the next day. In the morning, I'm back at it. I'm a little tired. Stayed up playing Apex till about 2 in the morning. But I'm about to take the clutch and flywheel off and prep everything to put the new stuff on. But I wanted to show you all this that I got from Atkins Rotary. This thing right here is a lifesaver. It holds the flywheel still while you work on the clutch, flywheel, whatever, but it bolts, these two bolts go into where the bell housing is. All right, so I'm up under the car. If you couldn't guess, you can see right here the two holes that piece bolts to. I think you can turn this over. See how it's the bolts are offset. I think you can either run it this way depending on which flywheel you have, but I think it can be run with it can be used with like an FD or an NA or a Turbo 2. And you just turn it over if your flywheel's bigger. Put it that way if your flywheel's smaller, I believe. There it is. I got that piece in place. My bolts aren't exactly even, but it's in place and it's holding it still, like it's not moving. So I'm gonna go get the big boy wrench that I don't remember where I got it from. I'll show it to you, but I might have got it from Atkins or Mazda Tricks. I don't know. Anyways, I'll show it to you, but it fits this 54 millimeter nut right here, and this nut is the only thing that holds the flywheel on. So I think it has to be torqued to, like, I don't know, over 300 foot-pounds. So it's like 3 feet long. I'll show it in a second. Here it is. I got the wrench on it right there. It's like I said, a little more than 3 feet long. It is made of like 1/4 inch steel, and it's got a huge 54 millimeter socket welded onto it. So it's how I put this thing on, and hopefully it's how I'm going to get it off. We shall see. It's going to take a little bit of doing here. All right, so important detail here. When you're taking the flywheel off, it is you can't just like pull it off. It's gonna be on there pretty good. It's keyed. If you take this nut off, you can see that it's keyed right here. And when you get this flywheel, when you get this nut on at 350 pounds, like it presses the flywheel on pretty significantly. So what you want to do is put this back on about, I don't know, a turn or two. And then you want to take a hammer. I use this one right here. This big, it's a 4-pound drilling hammer. I take this t-shirt and I put this t-shirt over one of these spots right here, just stick it over there, and I hold that with one hand. With the other hand, I just whack the shit out of it with this hammer. A couple whacks, hopefully just one whack, and the flywheel comes loose. I mean, it comes like real loose. I mean, it's like loose. So you can just like take this nut back off and you pull the flywheel off. You don't want to hit, if you have to reuse this flywheel, you don't want to hit this naked like this, because you could crack your flywheel. It's already got all these like heat marks, pressure marks, things like that, and they're weak points until they get machined out. And so you don't want to hit this just naked with a steel hammer. If you got a copper or lead hammer, I'd probably advise doing that, but who the freak has a copper hammer? All right, here's the components that I took out. See the flywheel here? See all the hot spots on it? Man, that's crazy. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I got this turned before I put it in, but this probably only has like 400 or 500 miles on it since I got the car running. And this pressure plate also has some wicked hot spots on it. Anyways, the clutch that came out is still in pretty good shape. I'm going back with the same thing. This is a bigger one because the Turbo 2 transmission takes bigger clutch and pressure plates, so they'll be bigger. But I'm going with a the same 6-puck sprung face because it's good for daily drivability as well as like drifting and whatnot. One thing you want to remember to do before you put a new clutch and flywheel in is clean it off. This friction surface is oiled from the factory. ACT oils these so they don't get any surface rust. Any decent machine shop will also put some sort of oil on this so it doesn't get surface rust before you put it in. Honestly, surface rust will completely wear away the first time you drive the car, but I don't know. I just don't like having that junk in there. Also, if you touch this, remember, you're putting your oils on it. You're putting this crap on your friction faces. So make sure you clean them off, which is what I'm about to do. Clean them off real good before you install them. Well, hey, good looking. Dude, this thing is ginormous compared to the other one. Holy moly. Basically just going to do exactly what I just did, but in the opposite order. I still need to attach the flywheel holder up here, and then I'll just put my giant wrench down there on that nut and just tighten the bejesus out of it. What I've been doing is, like, since I'm up on a trailer, I've been putting my feet like up over here and laying up under here, and then just like grabbing the wrench and doing like straightening my arms out and just doing like a squat and pulling, and it seems to work out okay. So we're gonna do that right now. Oh man, yeah, I mean, that felt like about 350 pounds or 300 pounds or 270 pounds. I don't know. I'm using my arms. I don't have a torque wrench that goes up to 350 foot-pounds, so that's what I'm doing. I'm tightening the bejesus out of it, and we're going to call it good. So flywheel's on. Now we're going to go get the clutch. Atkins Rotary, that's who I got this flywheel from. They sent me these pins right here, and they basically hold the clutch on. So we're going to go with the clutch. We're going to put these pins in, get the clutch on. I will tighten the clutch down to the proper torque spec, so don't worry about that. And later on, I'm going to get Ryan back over here. He helped me get the transmission off. I'm going to get him over here to help me get the transmission back on. I wish Ronnie could be here and be in this video, mainly because he needs to do some work. I'm just kidding. He's working hard on his Chevy. There it is. Clutch and pressure plate are on, lined up. I don't know if you can see into there, but the clutch will go, the input shaft will right in there. And it's lubed up a little. Ooh, gross. Anyways, like I said before, the big nut that holds the flywheel on gets tightened to, I think the factory spec is between 290 and 340 or 350, something like that, foot-pounds. I just got that giant bar on there and tightened it as hard as I could possibly tighten it. These get tightened down. I think factory spec is between 13 and 20 foot-pounds. I put them to 20 just because whatever. More is better, right? Anyways, transmission's got to go up, and we should be able to get the thing buttoned up in the next few hours, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know, depending on how I'm feeling. So this is it. Ryan's here. Say hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
We got both our transmissions. We don't care about the ugly one. We've got the pretty one ready to go in. I think I have everything set, but we'll find out probably once we get this heavy beast in the air. We'll realize.
Talking about me. We're talking about the transmission.
We'll figure out what we forgot real quick. So we can't exactly get all that on camera because it's under the trailer, and
there's only two of us.
I don't know. Yeah, and we're gonna be busy doing other stuff. So we'll be back when we've got everything in like 2 seconds.
Huzzah!
So, as you can see, we got the transmission in, we got the car running. It's not fully tuned. I totally wanted to give a hard rip around the circle there and do some drifties, some skids, but it's not there. I've got some sort of like overboost issues, so I got a little bit of work to do on that. Let's see about the transmission swap. I thought it was going to be like drop one transmission out and put the other one in, and everything would just hook up, and it didn't work out like that. The bell housing of the Turbo 2 transmission bolts right up to the motor. It's a 13B REW, bolts right up. The problem was the shifter wasn't the same, the starter wasn't the same, the cross member wasn't the same, the slave cylinder wasn't the same. I'm trying to think if there was, oh, I need another drive shaft. So I went with a custom drive shaft from Mazda Tricks. I went with a starter from, I think I got my starter from Rock Auto. I got my slave cylinder from AutoZone. I got my cross member from someplace online. I don't know if it was Atkins or Mazda Tricks. I don't remember where I got my cross member, but they have them. What was the other thing? Oh, the shifter. You have to use the shifter from the Turbo 2 transmission. My transmission came with the shifter. The ball that goes down in the hole, the little pivot ball, is actually bigger on the Turbo 2 than it is on the NA. Everything's bigger on the Turbo 2. So I got it together, but I won't lie to you, it's like 3 weeks later now. It just took me a lot of ordering, some fabrication, a lot of doing this and that, but we got it back together. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is probably, I'd really like to paint this body kit, even though, God, the body kit looks so good, just black. But I want to get the whole car painted, so I don't know if I want to go ahead and paint the body kit or whatever, but I'm going to riv nut the body kit on. So that'll probably be the next video I do. And I've got a dyno video that I'm working on. We got the car on the dyno, and it seemed to be making good power, but like I said, it was overboosting. It was boosting to like 17 pounds. I'd much rather it be around 10 or 12. You know, I figure I should be able to make over 400 around 10 or 12. So that's going to be the next video, probably the tuning video, or maybe the riv nut video. I don't know, one of the videos. But anyway, thanks for watching. Later.